What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? How are you doing today? Hope you're excited. Today, we are back with another top 5 trending Young Guns video, this time for the month of February 2025. Currently, the Four Nations tournament is going on. I'm actually recording this right after the Canada-Sweden game. So far, that game was absolutely electric. This tournament looks like it's going to be something special. We'll see what that does to players' Young Guns, see if any of them go up, go down. It mostly won't impact this list, but maybe it will impact this list maybe in like a week's time, for example. Like maybe a guy like Crosby starts trending or something like that. But yeah, really great hockey right now. Hockey, I think, is going in a great direction. Sounds like the salary cap's going to be jumping up. As per usual with these lists, this is not financial advice, guys. Please invest in sport cards at your own risk. All graphs will be courtesy of Sport Card Investor, not a sponsor or anything, for PSA 10 Young Guns in US dollars. So please keep that in mind. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Do videos like this every month. Lots of Young Gun lists, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on the next upload. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed. Really helps me grow the channel. And comment down below anyone I may have missed on this list. This is just my list. It's not the right list. Let me know your guys' picks down in the comments below. All right, kick us off here. Number 5 is actually going to be a goaltender, and you guys know I'm always iffy with goaltenders, but they trend sometimes, and he's trending this month. It's Stuart Skinner of the Edmonton Oilers. He was trending last year around Stanley Cup final time, and if the Edmonton Oilers were to go back to the Stanley Cup final, I think this young guy could definitely continue to trend upwards, but that's a big if. Is Edmonton going to go on another run? I think they're capable of it. Is Stuart Skinner going to be the main attention of the run, though? No, it'll probably be McDavid and Draisaitl. Of course, his young guns could go up a bit. I just don't see really any insane upside with Stuart Skinner, but he is trending because Edmonton is one of the best teams in the league right now. I think it's actually really interesting when we look into Stuart Skinner's stats. We can see he has a 900 save percentage. That's pretty much bang average. Nothing crazy, nothing terrible. Just okay, but goalies, I say this all the time. You guys are probably sick of me saying this. Very based on team success and market. Stuart Skinner has a good market, has a good team. That he has that going for him. So if they were to go on another run, I think this young guy does have more room to grow. But do I think Stuart Skinner is an elite goaltender? No, I wouldn't put him up there with like Connor Hellebuyck and those guys. I don't even know if I'd put him in the second tier below those guys. I think he's just a very bang average goalie on a very good team. Now, taking a look at his graph, we can see about a month ago, one sold for as low as $35 US, a PSA 10 Young Guns of Stuart Skinner, and one sold recently for as high as $72 US. That's a pretty significant increase. Could be a spike sale, but it also could be people prepping for the playoffs. I think Edmonton, as of right now, is the betting on favorite to win the Stanley Cup. So if they were to go on another run, I'm sure his Young Guns might spike up even further. Maybe it'll go all the way back to like $90 Canadian, like it kind of was last year. I think they topped out at like 120 Canadian. Maybe I'm remembering wrong, but I do remember him growing in value around this time last year and into the playoffs last year. So I think he could get back to that, but is it really worth it? I don't know. I don't know if his cards go up that much higher. If they do win the cup, maybe they spike even higher, but I just think there's better options personally. Up next at number 4 is another guy that's trending, and keep in mind, guys, I'm recording this after the Canada-Sweden game. U.S. has not played a game to this point of the recording. By the time you guys see this, U.S. would have played on Thursday and Saturday, and it's possible the Young Guns could be trending even more because of that, because I think Matthew Tkachuk is going to be a huge part of this U.S. Four Nations team, and if he's playing well in this tournament, I think that could draw a lot of buzz towards his Young Guns, and of course, with that Stanley Cup he won last year, I think his Young Guns could trend as a result of the tournament, so it's possible if he's playing well, his Young Guns is trending even more than it is in this video, so maybe check out the market on Matthew Tkachuk if he is playing well. Anyways, the reason he's trending other than the Four Nations, I would say, is because Florida is another cup favorite similar to Edmonton. He's proven that he's just an absolute playoff gamer. He's a superstar in this league, and I think people are starting to prep for playoffs. Taking a look at his stats this year, 57 points in 52 games. That's basically right what I expect with Matthew Tkachuk. I expect Tkachuk to be around a point per game player, being a really big power forward, a menace on the ice, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's just a really consistent player in the NHL, and that's why I'm kind of a fan of him. It's weird because I like Matthew Tkachuk and I don't like Brady because Brady plays for Ottawa. That's just weird how that works. I know a lot of people don't like Matt Tkachuk, but I like Matt Tkachuk, and I do think Florida has another chance to go on a deep run. I will say this, though. I say this all the time with Young Guns. For example, Matthew Tkachuk's Young Guns, his picture is on Calgary. That definitely does hurt his value, and Florida doesn't have the best card market. I do think Tkachuk's Young Guns would grow if they were to go on and win another Stanley Cup, but the market does hurt him. Now taking a look at Tkachuk's graph. Now, a month ago, one sold for as low as 88 US, one recently sold for as high as 105 US, and I do use the term spike sale a lot in these videos. This could be an example of like a low sale, and the rest of these are all kind of like around the same, like 105 range-ish. So this is possible as Young isn't really trending, but I would definitely recommend checking out to see if it's trending because of the Four Nations tournament, because I wouldn't be surprised at all if he's a huge part of Team USA. Up next at number 3 is a guy that's a little more under the radar as compared to the other guys on this list. He's not really a superstar, but Cole Perfetti is having a heck of a season for the Winnipeg Jets in that top 6 there. He's really growing as a player. I really actually am impressed with like his defensive game. Now I haven't watched a ton of like Winnipeg hockey, so I can't say for every game, but at least whenever I watch him, it seems like he's really reliable defensively and seems like he's kind of taken that next step. His point totals have increased based on his first 2 seasons in the league, and it looks like he's trending towards being a very reliable top 6 forward in the NHL. And I'm impressed with his game, and his Young Guns is trending because Winnipeg's one of the best teams in the league, and he's taken that next step. Taking a look at his point totals here this season, you can see 34 points in 56 games, while last year he had 38 points in 71 games. So he's only 4 points off his career high in like 15 less games, which is pretty impressive. We'll see what his end point total is. Now, do I think his Young Guns really increases that much this season? Probably not. Even if the Jets were to go on like a big run or anything, he's not even close to, in my opinion, to like the top of the list. Like I would think Kyle Connor, Mark Scheifele, Connor Hellebuck, maybe even like Morrissey would trend more than Perfetti, but who knows? Maybe Perfetti has a similar breakout playoff performance that we saw Wyatt Johnson have a couple of years ago. Now I said the same thing about Wyatt Johnson. I thought Jason Robertson and Miro Heiskanen and Rube Hintz would trend more than Wyatt Johnson, but Wyatt Johnson just kind of completely took over the offense, and it's possible Perfetti does the same thing. I think it's very unlikely, but it is a possibility. Take a look at this graph. About a month ago, one sold for as low as 22 US. One sold recently for as high as 36 US. Very decent increase, and it's a very affordable card, so I wouldn't hate if you picked one up. I don't think it's going to go up a ton this year, but I've been wrong before, and I think he has potential to go up in future years when he becomes more involved in this offense. Up next at number 2 is a guy I'm actually pretty high on. Now, I do think if the Ottawa Senators were to make the playoffs, Jake Sanderson's Young Guns would increase in value if he plays well, that is. I think he could have an absolute breakout performance in the first round of the playoffs, especially if they played Toronto and Ottawa played well and Jake Sanderson was playing well. I think his Young Guns could definitely increase in value. There'd be so many eyes on that series, and Ottawa is a good hockey card market, and Jake Sanderson looks like he's the real deal. It looks like he's a true number 1 defenseman with a lot of offensive upside. As long as the offensive production stays, I think his Young Guns could continue to trend. We'll have to wait and see, but yeah, I'm a big Jake Sanderson believer. Similar to Cole Perfetti, Jake Sanderson's on pace to crush his career totals. 35 points through 55 games this year as a defenseman. Very impressive stuff considering he put up close to that last year. And yeah, Jake Sanderson, like I said, if Ottawa gets in the playoffs and they put up a fight against Toronto and Jake Sanderson is the guy on the back end doing lots of creative offensive things, I do think his Young Guns has a good chance to go up this season. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe they upset a team like Toronto, or I don't see them beating Florida, but I definitely think they could upset a team like Toronto. Taking a look at his graph here, you can see last month one sold for as low as 31 US, one recently sold for as high as 63 US. That's a pretty significant increase, and I do think if Ottawa were to make the playoffs and Sanderson keeps off the offensive production, his Young Guns could definitely go up this year. If they could somehow go on a playoff run, his Young Guns would definitely go up, I think, especially with that strong Canadian market. He's still young, even if they do get bounced in the first round or they don't make the playoffs. He's still young, has potential to go up in the future, so I like Sanderson. And coming in at number 1 is a player I've been high on for years, and every single year he just gets better and better. And this year he's having another breakout season. It's Lucas Raymond of the Detroit Red Wings, who's been on absolute fire as of late, and he's currently playing for Sweden in the Four Nations. He looked good last night, at least I thought he looked good. We'll see if he can do anything crazy with Team Sweden. He is playing like a bottom 6 role, so I don't think he'll go up a ton from like the Four Nations play, but who knows. I think if Detroit were to make the playoffs, I think Lucas Raymond, his Young Guns, has a significant chance to go up in value because I think he's such a key point of that offense, along with guys like Dylan Larkin, Patrick Kane, Alex DeBrincat, guys like that. I just think Lucas Raymond is their like point guy, and I like him a lot. Take a look at his stats. You can see he's on pace to smash his career total. He's over a point per game this season, 59 points in 55 games. Very impressive stuff. 72 points in 82 games last year. So yeah, if he finishes over a point per game, that's great progression for Lucas Raymond. He looks like he's going to be a stellar forward in the NHL. And I think at Detroit, if they make the playoffs, they got a good card market. I think his Young Guns could go up even more. When I do these trending Young Guns videos, this graph right here is basically exactly what I look for, just a slow trend upwards, and that's what we have here. One sold recently for as high as $78 US, and one sold last month for as low as $54 US. Just a slight dip as of late. There's one little dip sale, but basically other than that, just a straight trend upwards. And I think that's going to continue as long as Raymond continues to perform. And like I said, he's pretty young. He's got lots of potential still, even if his Young Guns doesn't go up anymore this year. I like him in the future, and I think he's part of Detroit's core for the foreseeable future. That's going to do it for the top 5 trending young guns for the month of February 2025. Let me know in the comments below anyone I may have missed. Drop a like on the video if you did enjoy. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next upload. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Take care, everybody. Have a good one.